shonen isn't even a genre or designation, it's a marketing term. That's true, but it's also kind of a genre, right? Like anime, like when I say shonen, like I'm leaning heavily into the, it's like action, cool fight scene. I guess I don't really want to like genre set right now because I wouldn't call Berserk shonen. It certainly has plenty of action and fight scenes. There's everyone just wants to create their own power system where people get more powerful and do cool attacks they shout the names out of while they do it. And you know what? I think that's awesome. I think that's great. I'm not one of those smarmy dipshits who will look down on media because it's simple or accessible and say, oh, this isn't cerebral enough for me. I consume plenty of cerebral media. You can do it if you want. There's plenty out there. And there's also something valuable about just watching like a guy go fucking Texas punch and then punching a hole in the universe or something. And I don't know. Hell yeah, dude. Just make it good. That's why I like Jujutsu Kaisen. That's why I like One Piece. I do think One Piece actually succeeds at times in being a pretty thoughtful and intelligent in the way it like structures itself. But in terms of like the beat by beat engagements, action, character development, and writing, it's very simple, and that's fine because it's very well done. Simple doesn't mean bad, and complicated doesn't mean good. It's possible to make shit complicated that's also really bad and pretty stupid too, you know? Yeah, I generally think that Studio Trigger does some of the best work in terms of leaning into shonen bullshit and making it really fun and entertaining, and Gainax before them with like Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill. Like they know what they're doing when it comes to playing with those tropes. What anime is complex but bad? Second season of Death Note. Very much like well, we're a big brain story, right? So let's engage in some fucking narrativizing. But yeah, hot garbage. I think that'd be a good example. Is Kill la Kill actually good? Yes, it's excellent. Even if it wasn't for the fact that it's very tightly written and very entertaining, which it is, it's also one of the best showcases of unique and inventive animation that exists. Kill la Kill is the best showcase you'll get of inventive animation outside of outside of like, I don't know. You have to go into more indie shit past that. Like, I don't know, Ping Pong, Tatami Galaxy. You have to get into weirder shit past that. Fooly Cooly, yeah, but a lot of the people who made Fooly Cooly also made Kill la Kill, so together. Where does B-Stars fall into this? B-Stars is what you watch if you're really, 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 really horny and gay. I couldn't do B-Stars, it's too horny, Lamau. Yeah, well. I really liked BNA for some reason. Am I a furry? BNA was okay. It was really pretty, but isn't B-Stars the furry one? Yes. What do you regret watching the most? I don't regret watching it. I have seen Redline twice. I don't regret watching it, but the worst anime that I've ever seen in my life, bar none, easily, not even a contest, Elfen Lied. I watched it on a like CRT TV with my college friends while we were half drunk in the like a dorm room, and it was comedy gold the entire way through. Elfen Lied might be a good example of complicated doesn't equal good, except it can't even succeed in being complicated. It doesn't know how to. It was written ineptly. If you have fond memories of it, what you actually have fond memories of is the opening 5 minutes of the first episode, where a like naked like lab experiment girl kills a bunch of guards with invisible tentacles. Like, so it's all like gory and edgy. Like they'll be like stop and lift guns, and then there'll be like a flash of and a line, and then they'll like fall apart to bloody pieces. That's what you remember thinking is good. The rest of it, and it's fine, I guess. Like, it's edgy, but edgy isn't always bad. Everything apart from that is like a completely different anime that's mostly about a weirdo pervert shonen protag wannabe boy raising a retarded cat girl. I'm not joking. She's a retarded cat girl. At one point, she is sitting on the ground eating with the family, and he's like, she's kind of dumb, but we can like help her out. And then she pisses herself. The anime shows a piss puddle forming around her legs in a clearly fetishistic, she's like retarded and underage, I think. It's like, it is so bad on every possible level. It's so bad. Yeah, not even exaggerating. Yeah, no, I'm not exaggerating anything at all. It's incredibly bad. I forgot I watched this till you said this. Why'd you make me remember? I blocked it out. Sorry. Is there any leftist manga you recommend? One Piece? I don't really like read stuff for being leftist. If it interests me, it interests me. You should catch up on One Piece. I'm only like 10 chapters behind on One Piece. Chill. Don't you like Made in Abyss? I've never seen Made in Abyss. My understanding of Made in Abyss from what people have said is that it's very yikesy, and you can take issue with it being yikesy, but there is at least an artistic purpose to it being yikesy, whereas the Elfen Lied shit is just pure, like, fetishy, like, gonzo shit with no artistic virtue outside of that edginess, you know? But I don't know. I've never seen Made in Abyss. What anime do you recommend for people who aren't into anime? Probably Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There are a good number of anime that I think are good starter anime, but I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is A, extremely good, B, very approachable, and C, does a good job of onboarding you onto anime tropes, so that if you watch something else in the future and it does some anime bullshit that is kind of like not comprehensible without any cultural familiarity, you'll have already watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and you'll be like, oh, I get it. When a character is suddenly drawn in a much more simplistic style, it's like a comedy beat. It's meant to indicate that they're being kind of dumb or they don't understand something, you know? Or they're like incomprehensible. Or like, oh, you know, when there's suddenly a cutaway and the music changes and there's a weird, like, incoherent background while a person dances around or does something. Like in anime, that's just like an exaggerated way of showing excitement or like a change in tone. It's not like weird shape-shifting magic, you know, shit like that. I know that sounds dumb, but there's a lot of stuff that really won't track if you're completely unfamiliar with the narrative and stylistic tropes behind anime, and that's just a familiarity thing. It's the exact same with our media, with Western media. There's lots of like generally Western stuff that we do in our stories that makes sense to us, you know, that you just learn to pick up on. Mob Psycho 100 is also very good, though it's a little bit more incomprehensible, but not like unapproachably so, I feel. I'm almost surprised you didn't suggest DBZ. That's because Dragon Ball Z is bad. It's a bad story. People only remember it fondly because of cultural inertia and because you watched like Toonami translations of it. It's bad. The story is incredibly uninteresting. The fight system and power mechanics are incomprehensible. There are no stakes. There's no real feeling behind anything. The style is, let's be fair, ugly past Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z is ugly. Dragon Ball is charming. By Z, they lose it. It just turned into a big, like, monstrously popular blob that people like for liking it. I'm willing to bet a lot of people who like it don't even like watch it or haven't watched it in a long time. Maybe there's just like they like the abridged series, or there's memes they remember from when they were young or whatever, or it's just like a thing people know to be popular, so they just kind of accept it. But I went back, I read the manga, even the manga in its original untainted form, before you add in all of the filler bullshit and all of the weird delaying bullshit and all of the weird timing and weird line reads from the anime. Even the manga is pretty bad. The Dragon Ball manga is okay. But by Dragon Ball Z, nothing means anything anymore, you know? Does no one else feel like it's really dumb that by the end of Dragon Ball, when, you know, Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, people are fighting by punching and occasionally teleporting behind each other? And then in Dragon Ball GT, when people are theoretically strong enough to like delete universes by flicking their fingers or whatever, they're still fighting it exactly that way. It's all nonsensical. There's no way to like follow anything action-wise, which means the fights aren't interesting because you can't engage with the GT is not canon. I'm just talking about like how things, whatever. Didn't we have something else we wanted to talk about? God damn it. What about Pokemon anime? All Pokemon anime I've ever seen is trash, except for the Aloha one when they did the art style changed. There was some good stuff there. Still kind of like for kids though, like too kiddie for me, like too young, I guess. But it was better. Alola, thank you. Not Alola's a fucking awful. I only saw like 6 episodes of it. Fuck, man, there was another thing I want to do. Okay, you're not distracting me anymore.